Your lymphatic system kills viruses. It allows you to wipe out most viruses and other infections, bacterial infections included. It functions as a sort of circulatory system for your immune system. It really has two major jobs: balancing the fluids in your body and the amount of fluid in your blood, so your blood volume. That's called homeostasis. But what we're discussing here today is how important this system is to fighting viruses, including the COVID-19 coronavirus. So welcome to our episode, The Virus Killer, Your Lymphatic System. Hi, my name is Jerry Hickey. I'm a licensed pharmacist who also has studied nutrition. I'm over here at Invite Health. I'm also the scientific director, and I'd like to talk to you today about ways you can help your lymphatic system kill viruses. What's good for it? What slows it down? Please be sure to subscribe to our Invite Health podcast. Please leave us a review. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. All of the information on today's episode will be linked in the episode description, and you can visit invitehealth.com/podcast for more information. So let's get going. Things that slow down your immune system in general is not getting sleep, being very stressed out, so these things have to be taken care of. Not controlling your blood pressure and blood sugar. Drinking way too much sugar. Drinking way too much alcohol. Smoking. Excess salt, because salt kills off your good bacteria in your intestines, and they're very important for your immune system. And then there are things that are good for your immune system: vitamin D, green tea, mushrooms, fruits and vegetables in general, eating enough protein, vitamin C, zinc. We'll go into some of this. But we're going to focus on your lymphatic system. It circulates around your body and delivers a group of different cells known as lymphocytes. These are really important immune system cells to any tissue where there's an infection. The cells of the lymphatic system are known as lymphocytes because they are mostly found in your lymph. The lymph is the fluid drained from and around your organs and tissues. It's not blood. Blood is in your circulatory system. And just a quick anatomical, physiological thing. When your heart pumps out blood, there's pressure. The pressure shakes loose some of the fluid around your cells and organs, and this carries away debris and infectious organisms, and that drains into your lymph system, which are like blood vessels. They connect to lymph nodes, and lymph nodes are where a lot of the destruction of viruses and bacteria takes place. Now, lymphocytes consist of three main cells. They have the ability to adapt to conditions relating to an infection, so it's called the adaptive immune system. They learn about an infection. Many of them remember the infection or prevent a reinfection. So they're involved also with future resistance to an infection. So this is an important part of the immune system. I mean, this would be the part of the immune system where a flu shot works. The flu shot creates antibodies. So there's B cells in the immune system. The B cells release immunoglobulins. You know them as antibodies. And the antibodies are specific for an infection. So these are very important because in some cases it gives you lifelong resistance to an infection like the measles, the mumps, chickenpox. The second type of cell is called a natural killer cell. Very important cell. It's a very important cell. Natural killer cells are very large lymphocytes, very large immune cells. They respond more rapidly than antibodies, than B cells can respond. It takes several weeks to create antibodies. For instance, when you get a flu shot, it takes several weeks before you have resistance to the flu. Natural killer cells respond within days to an infection. And interestingly, they don't need to have antibodies to trigger their reaction. In other words, for an antibody to work, the virus has to be tagged with an antigen, a protein. And the antibody recognizes the antigen and attacks the virus. Natural killer cells don't need these markers, so they can work much faster and they rush into the site. They're carried through the lymphatic system, and they're carried to the site where there's an infection, and they're released, and they respond. So this gives the immune system time to create the antibodies that'll get there. But not only that, the natural killer cells have a type of memory. So they help prevent a reinfection, giving your immune system proper time to create the antibodies and respond appropriately. And then there's the T cells. These are called T cells because they develop in your thymus gland. Two things happen in the thymus gland. T cells are either accepted or rejected. In other words, they have to be taught that they have to kill viruses and bacteria T cells. If they can't understand that and they can still attack your body, they're destroyed in the thymus gland. They're rejected and they're destroyed. This way you don't develop autoimmunity. You don't attack your own body because your immune system could destroy your body. That's what happens in autoimmune diseases like systemic lupus erythematosus, when your own body is attacking organs like the kidneys and heart and destroying them. There are basically three types of T cells. This is very important. There's the CD8 plus killer T cell, which does exactly that. It attaches to a virus and it floods it with chemicals. It dissolves the virus from the outside and the inside. But they also recruit, these killer T cells also recruit other immune cells to the site of an infection. They're very important. So all of these cells, their activity is multiple ways they're helping kill an infection. Then there's the CD4 plus helper T cells. They determine if other parts of the immune system need to be recruited to kill an infection. And also they regulate how the other cells respond to the infection. And then there's regulatory T cells. They create tolerance so your immune system doesn't attack you. So they suppress the immune system. They prevent autoimmune diseases like, rheumatoid arthritis. Now, besides the vessels and the lymph nodes where the actual killing of the viruses take place, your lymph system has certain organs attached to it. For instance, in the back of your throat, your tonsils, any bacteria or viruses you inhale or you swallow should be cleared up by the lymphatic tissue in your tonsils. And then there's the thymus gland, which matures the T cells and educates them. And then there's the spleen. That's a really important one. The spleen breaks down old red blood cells, and it recycles the iron. It keeps the iron in the body. And then it takes the broken down blood cells and they go to the liver. And the liver converts that into like bilirubin and things that help you digest food, bile acids. They help you digest the fats in foods. Also in the spleen, it acts as a reservoir for blood in case you're bleeding and you're losing blood volume. And also in the spleen, you're removing viruses and bacteria from your immune cells and destroying them. So these are the activity of your lymphatic system is crucial to survival from infection. Let's go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll discuss more about your lymphatic system, and eventually we'll get to nutrients that really empower your lymphatic system to do a better job of cleaning up infections.
This podcast is brought to you by InviteHealth.com. For over 20 years, Invite Health has provided premium quality supplements and expert advice you can trust. Now, first-time customers can enjoy an exclusive offer. Visit invitehealth.com/podcast or click the link in this episode description. That's invitehealth.com/podcast for your exclusive offer on Invite Health products. Invite Health offers the resources you need to make important decisions about your health. Chat live with degreed healthcare professionals, get product information, and find retail locations near you at invitehealth.com. You can also learn about our new genetic testing program and our exclusive Invite Fitness Wellness program. Follow Invite Health on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast today. Now back to our episode.
Okay, welcome back. So your lymph ducts allow the lymphatic system to protect your organs from infections. These are located near your heart and your lungs and your kidneys. The lymph glands allow the immune system to travel efficiently to any site in your body where there's an infection. Now, your lymphatic tissue, your lymph, is made out of fluid, so you need water. Drinking water serves many purposes. One, it's a solvent. It breaks down toxins and moves them out of the body. So you can't detoxify effectively and efficiently without enough water, and that's important for the immune system indirectly. Toxins weaken you, they inflame you. Inflammation is dangerous during this time of the coronavirus pandemic, because inflammation is what occurs in the brain and the heart and the lungs that make the virus so violently dangerous. So you don't want to increase your level of inflammation right now. So drinking water moves toxins out. Otherwise, the toxins inflame you. But the toxins also will use up your immune cells. You're using up your immune cells during the inflammatory process. You need your immune cells to stick around for the infections. Plus, water creates lymph. The actual lymph is made out of fluid. And, of course, it's that lymph through the lymph glands that moves the immune system around the body and brings viruses and bacteria to the lymph nodes where they're destroyed. So it's a very important consideration, having sufficient water. Nucleotides. Nucleotides are a supplement. Now, your body naturally makes nucleotides. You normally don't need extra. But they become what we call conditionally essential. A vitamin is essential every day. Nucleotides are conditionally essential. In other words, it's necessary to take them at certain times. It's a good idea. For instance, healing the intestines. If you're taking a drug that damages and inflames the intestines, nucleotides speeds up the healing process of the intestines. So if you're taking a drug like Advil or Aleve frequently, that could cause severe bleeding ulcers, very dangerous. That literally kills about 19,000 Americans each year, these type of drugs and the bleeding in the intestines that they lead to. If you take nucleotides while you're on those drugs, you may stay ahead of the damage because you're speeding up to repair the intestines, and it may help prevent you from developing a bleeding ulcer. Another time is with irritable bowel syndrome. About 40 million Americans have irritable bowel syndrome. It's triggered essentially by stress and emotional havoc, but also by allergies. And people with irritable bowel syndrome tend to get intestinal pain and cramps and diarrhea and constipation. Nucleotides helps them with the pain.
This podcast is brought to you by InviteHealth.com. For over 20 years, Invite Health has provided premium quality supplements and expert advice you can trust. Now, first-time customers can enjoy an exclusive offer. Visit invitehealth.com/podcast or click the link in this episode description. That's invitehealth.com/podcast for your exclusive offer on Invite Health products. Invite Health offers the resources you need to make important decisions about your health. Chat live with degreed healthcare professionals, get product information, and find retail locations near you at invitehealth.com. You can also learn about our new genetic testing program and our exclusive Invite Fitness Wellness program. Follow Invite Health on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast today. Now back to our episode.
Gum disease. I have a number of dentists that give their patients with severe gum disease 2 nucleotides every day to help the immune system in their gums and to help the healing process. Now, the surgical arena. Nucleotides are part of immunonutrition. They're necessary for healing. They speed up healing. So anytime you need help with healing, they're good for healing, whether it's healing from an injury, a wound, or from surgery. But they also reduce the risk of complications during the surgery and after the surgery, and they reduce the risk of developing an infection related to the surgery or being in the hospital. Nucleotides are good for energy. So, for instance, if you're first starting a diet or if you're doing intense exercise, you tend to get fatigued. Nucleotides restore your energy rather rapidly. I take nucleotides frequently whenever I need them. When training for a sport or performing intense exercise, like running a marathon, nucleotides keep the immune system going. And nucleotides are especially good during an infection. Nucleotides support the immune system cells within your lymphatic system, but also your granulocytes, your innate immune system. For instance, your nucleotides. Excuse me. For instance, your neutrophils. Your neutrophils are about 70% of your white blood cells. They're part of the innate immune system. They have to be told what to do by the cells within the lymphatic system. But they're the major killers of infections. They're very large cells, and they attach to and gobble up and destroy viruses. And they work better when you take nucleotides. But nucleotides also support T cell development. When you're infected, you have to roll out more T cells. One of them is natural killer T cells. You roll out more natural killer T cells. That's exactly what they do. They kill infections. They kill viruses. You have greater numbers, and they work better when you take nucleotides. Helper T cells, they help the immune system work properly. They tell which cells to get involved and how much to get involved. And then the regulatory T cells. Regulatory T cells help prevent your immune system from attacking you during an infection. Otherwise, that's quite dangerous, and it's one of the more dangerous aspects of the coronavirus. The coronavirus has a number of dangerous aspects. One, it's creating blood clots in people. In fact, in young people in their 30s and 40s, it's triggering strokes. Two, severe inflammation in the lungs called cytokine storm. Severe inflammation in the brain, severe inflammation in the heart. So you want to contain the virus as quickly and as effectively as possible so it doesn't get to the point where you're at risk of these dangerous occurrences related to the coronavirus. Nucleotides also improve the function of immunoglobulin A. Immunoglobulin A is a very important antibody. It's the number one antibody that protects you, like if somebody sneezes on you or coughs on you with a virus. So immunoglobulin A is high in your saliva. It's in your tears and your eyes. It's in your urinary tract. It's in your digestive tract. It's in your lungs. And also the natural killer cell count. That's important. Okay, we better, this seems to be quite a long episode. So I think we'll stop now and we'll continue this in part 2, discussing your lymphatic system and viruses. Thank you for tuning into the Invite Health podcast. You can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Please subscribe. Please leave us a review. You could follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Invite Health. Hope to see you next time on another episode of Invite Health Podcast. Thanks for listening, and look for episode part 2.